Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a video on an energy report for this week, first of all, and then I'm going to be talking about spiritual attachments and how to get rid of them, and also some other new merchandise that I have brought to my shop, and we'll just keep talking about different subjects here. So let's go ahead and get started here. And for all of my haters out there that are watching my channel, this is for you. Just adding a little side effect here. Side effect sounds or sound effects. So I thought it was kind of humorous, but anyways, the energy for this week for a lot of you out there, all my rays of light, it's going to be kind of hectic. Keep in mind that we have Mercury retrograde starting. We have we're in a solar eclipse today on the 2nd of July when I'm filming this. And it's the new moon. So with the new moon, you know, new energies, letting go of old past things, and kind of just starting new things for yourself. And, you know, it's out with the old, in with the new. And the energy this week with Chiron in retrograde. And then we have also, you know, just a whole bunch of Neptune in retrograde. And so all of these, you know, combined, it's very stressful. And I've been hearing from a lot of you out there that a lot of you are very, very stressed out, and you're just not feeling very well. You're feeling kind of sick. You're feeling very drained. There's just people that are being moody towards you, or you feel like very sensitive, and like you just don't want to go out into the public. It's very chaotic. For the most part this week, the energy this week is that a lot of you are going to be working very, very hard on your, you know, getting last minute details out. Some of you are going to be going off for the 4th of July here in the USA. For people that are celebrating that here in America, a lot of you are going to be going on vacation, road trips. Some of you have taken this week off, and some of you may be working up until the day before, you know, 4th of July. So, yeah, this week is going to be very intense about clearing out energy. It's also going to be about a lot of you wanting to stay more at home. So like traditionally, a lot of us may have, you know, last year celebrated 4th of July by going to a fireworks display or just being around, you know, a festival of music and food and you know, friends. And this year you may want to kind of like tone back. Some of you may not be wanting to, first of all, because the climate this year is very, very hot. We are under extreme heat waves, and we will be for the rest of summer here in the USA, as well as different parts of the of Earth, you know, of the United States and worldwide, basically. So a lot of us are going to be staying more at home, you know, ordering pizzas, chips, having snacks, you know, watching, you know, the games on TV, or, you know, maybe just, you know, having a good get together with family. But that's the energy this week. A lot of you also in your home life, there are going to be some kind of disruptions. This could be arguments, you know, within family members not getting, you know, when you get a group of your family members together, there tends to be some kind of, you know, arguments, or people say things that they don't mean, but, you know, they're kind of inebriated, and so things can, you know, just happen where they just say things that they don't mean. But you just need to pay attention to what's going on in your home life, because right now that can affect you later on if you're not careful. I also see that a lot of you are very focused on, like I said, celebrating. Some of you will be going out and celebrating and getting, you know, drunk and stuff like that. Just be very, very, you know, careful not to drink and drive. That's the message that I'm sending for this 4th of July week. It's very odd to say that 4th of July is falling on a Thursday, because typically, well, last year it was on a Wednesday, and, you know, the year before that on a Tuesday. But I'm like, usually when I remember 4th of July, they fall on a Saturday or Sunday, but I guess every calendar year they move one day ahead of the week. So next year, for example, will probably be on a Friday, and so you'll have to wait another year until it'll actually, well, 2 years until it actually is on a Saturday, and then a lot of you can take off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But A lot of you are also weighing decisions this week, even with all the festivities and everything. There's a lot of serious, things that you're focusing on, your finances, maybe leaving a job behind that you're not happy in. A lot of you are going to be starting new relationships this week. That's kind of like the energy that is, around. Perhaps you meet somebody at a social event at one of these Fourth of July fireworks show, or going afterwards to go eat at a restaurant. But there is some kind of chemistry that a lot of you will be building with another person this week, and it's the inception of new energy, just a new flow of love coming into a lot of you, into a lot of your lives out there. People want to, things could be very serious. If you're already seeing somebody, or you're in a relationship and it's in its infancy stages, it's going to grow. It's going to be taken to the next level. A lot of you could be consolidating your relationship this weekend, going, somewhere with your partner and celebrating, going to their family's home, celebrating. So again, there's a lot of that. For some of you though, it's not going to be all about love. There is unfortunately some heartbreak. So I see like a mixture of energies this week for a lot of you. Some of you are going to be very happy. Some of you are going to be wanting to stay in it's crazy energy. Some of you are going to want to stay at your home, not want to deal with anybody. Some of you are just tending to home things, like taking this day off to, fix things around your house, get things in order. Some of you are just, worried about and just going with the flow. And then some of you are ready to take some relationship to a next level. And some of you, there's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be an ending to a relationship. And it could have already started last week, but this energy report that I'm doing, that's kind of like what we are seeing. Are going to be some solar flares as well. And so with solar flares and an eclipse, and a new moon, it's very, very intense. And it's in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer is typically associated, we're in the sun sign of Cancer. So with Cancer, we see a lot of communication, a lot of emotion. Is very an emotional sign. So a lot of you, if you're asking yourself, why am I so emotional? Why am I feel like I'm going crazy? Everybody's just bothering me. I'm irritated by everything. This is the reason why. It's just a culmination of things. Some things that you can do this week to kind of help yourself is to take some, Himalayan salt or sea salt baths to kind of cleanse yourself. You can use smudge sprays or sage sprays if you have that, and spray yourself. Use Palo Santo, sage, and smudge your area. Sorry for the background noise of the train. I live close to some railroad tracks, and so you could do that. You can also go into the beach. If a lot of you are going to the beach, use that wisely, because the Mother Earth, the ocean, the waters, they are very cleansing and soothing to the soul. So if you're like, I just got a suntan or a spray tan, I don't want to get into the water, just go in there. Some people are very picky about that, or they just don't want to get burned by the sun. Just go and dip your feet and then get out and then go sit under the umbrella, or under the picnic table. But kind of get yourself immersed out of that energy. But if you can kind of do that, treat yourself to an ice cream. It's hot if you're here in the United States. If you're like in Australia, they're in the middle of winter right now, so they may not want an ice cream, but definitely do something. Get a cup of hot cocoa. Do something that is keeps you warm and just feeling pleasant and comfortable. Create your sacred space. Use this time to create a sacred space, like an altar. You can put some a special cloth on there, put some candles that are scented, have some of your crystals out on there, just play some music that's soothing to you. It doesn't have to be very fancy. It can be tailored to what you want it to be. So yeah, that's the energy for this week. On the screen, you will be seeing a notepad. I have 6 of these left before they sell out. I will be bringing some more, possibly, for those of you that didn't get one, but this is new merchandise. It is a 5x8 notepad. It is not college ruled, so it has no lines, and it's about 120 pages of paper, and so it's it has an autograph. It has different photos of myself in it, and it is autographed as well. So these are running for $20 in my shop if you want to go ahead and support that new merchandise and go get you one. It is a limited edition. I will be getting some more in, but it just depends, on whether or not how receptive you are to that, to having a notepad, obviously, because school for a lot of you out there, some of you that are in college, some of you, this will come in handy for them, but just wanted to show you that. And then I'm going to get into, because this has been coming up in a lot of my readings with clients. And I had a client, for example, the other day. I'm not going to give in too much of the details, but there was a family member that they were very concerned about. And I did a reading, and I did say that they had a spiritual attachment to them. And I gave them some steps to kind of clear this energy, or clear this spiritual attachment. Now, spiritual attachments are not really the same thing as possession, demonic possession, because sometimes attachments can be just negative entities that were human ones, and demonic activity are demons that are no longer, they were never human to begin with. They were never born into this world. They just existed. They've existed for eons and eons, since before the beginning of Earth created. Demons have existed, and they've roamed throughout the world. They're very ancient. But going back on topic about spiritual attachments, how I was reading this client, and this client had a spiritual attachment, and something weird happened is that after I'd given them the steps to kind of clear this out themselves, because they could very well do that, they went there to that person's house, that family member's house, and then right when they got there and they told them about the reading, etc., there was a phone call, and one of their family members had an accident. So whether or not there's a correlation, there definitely was. There was something that I also went through myself last night. It was a kind of like a paranormal experience, where basically I was talking or saying things in my sleep, obviously, and I was made aware that I was doing that. So again, there are things that happen. You have to be very careful with spiritual attachments. In this case, it wasn't demonic, so we're good. But if it is demonic, you want to get a qualified demonologist, or a shaman, someone that is very powerful. And if you have somebody that is very strong in their faith in your family, you can actually do that, and that's why I recommended one of them in the family, because I felt like, and what Spirit was showing me is that they are able to carry out this kind of like exorcism or cleansing of this person. I'm going to discuss kind of like, how do you know? So to start off, how do you know if somebody has a spiritual attachment? Typically, people that have spiritual attachments, they will start displaying some weird symptoms. They start going through character changes, personality changes, almost kind of reflects like you don't recognize that person, or if you're around them, or people who see them, just their demeanor and the way they comport themselves around them is completely opposite to what they know that person to be. They could be more aggressive in nature. They could be more reserved, kind of like catatonic, like not talking at all, or just wanting to be left alone, very sentimental. Anything will bust them out into crying. A lot of people that have spiritual attachments are going to be crying for hours and hours, and it's almost like they don't know, or they're in pain for hours and hours on their body, and there's not a physical or a medical diagnosis for that, other than it being spiritual. Because a lot of these cases where people are in a lot of pain, they go to the ER, and the ER says, you're physically fine. We don't know what it is. This may be more neurological, and they may just say that you're fine. They don't know what it is, and those are the kind of cases where this could be possibly or potentially a spiritual attachment. So again, caution is warranted with what I'm going to be telling you throughout this, if you feel like you ever encounter that, and how to kind of counteract that. Other things that you'll notice is like strange smells around them. They could start not wanting to like take a bath or cleanse themselves, kind of like getting an odor of sorts. It's they may not want to like brush their hair, put on makeup, go out of the house. They're kind of like not wanting to eat, and some of them may be the opposite and just want to eat, or they may start picking a fight with someone. Sometimes they get so depressed that they just lose interest in things that they passionately loved. For example, you could have someone that is a photographer and loves booking clients, but for some reason this week they have a spiritual attachment, and they're not responding to their clients, are not picking up the phone calls, they turn their phones off, and nobody knows what's going on unless they come and check on them. That is kind of like a spiritual attachment to a person. Other symptoms that you may notice, people that are spiritually challenged or have an attachment, is that they may start developing the characteristics of a person, of the spirit that is attached to them that was maybe once living, calling you, let's say that entity that is attached to them is taken over them, and they're talking to you and they're calling you Susan, but your name is Jim, or Jenny, but you remind them of Susan, and their old memories. So the spirit that is infiltrating their body or attaching to themselves is recalling a lot of the details from their life if they were once living. And just overall sickness of the body. It kind of like it wears that person down, and spiritual attachments can also start affecting other people in the environment as well, especially if the person that is has an attachment is someone that has spiritual gifts, or that is very spiritual themselves. So again, you just kind of have to be careful with that. There's different ways that you can get rid of this. You can burn some copal or some frankincense with myrrh on charcoal, and kind of like have that in the environment to cleanse it. First of all, you should, like I said, before you are going to attempt to kind of get that spiritual attachment away from that person, you need to talk to that person, and in moments when they snap into reality, they can actually remove that themselves by praying to Archangel Michael, to their higher self, and to their ancestors to pull that entity away. And they can have a conversation and tell that entity as well that they're not welcome in their body, they're not welcome in their aura or their space, that they must go, they must leave, and be very demanding when they do that, and really mean it. And then they can drink a little bit of water with a few drops of holy water in it. And kind of, that can also help as well to get rid of all this negative energy or attachment to them. They should definitely, someone that has the willpower to fight that attachment should definitely take a bath in Himalayan sea salt or sea salt as well, to scrub their aura, cleanse all this energy off of them. And then follow up by grounding themselves, going, out barefoot, or just praying and meditating. Some people, that are mediums, it's typical that we get sometimes attachments. That happens. It comes with the territory. But for the most part, that's how we protect ourselves, and we try to close connections so that way spirits cannot linger to us, because when they do, and we have a spiritual attachment, we are going to go through the gigs. We're going to be beside ourselves. And it's good. We know as mediums, that what is going on, or most of the time we do know. But if the person is not, is so far gone, where they are just not able to do that because the spirit, has been there quite some time and it's affected their health, you need to get someone, like I said, either a shaman, a witch, a medium, psychic, or somebody that is spiritually very strong in their faith, and they can get rid of the entity that is attaching themselves to that person. That person can do several things. They can use, like I said, burn that copal and that frankincense, and do some prayers, placing their hand over that person's head or shoulder, and basically asking that entity to leave and letting them know that they're not welcome. Doing things, holding like religious items in their that person can hold religious items in their hand, like a rosary as well as the person that is performing that. Another thing that they can possibly do to get rid of an entity, which I've done it before, but I don't recommend doing this again if you have medical problems or you're kind of scared. You cannot go into this being fearful at all, because negative entities that attach themselves, typically they love and they feed on fear. But what you can do is you can get a regular plate, like a ceramic plate or whatever you call it, porcelain. I don't know what they're made out of. I believe they're like ceramic, but just a regular plate, and then a glass of water. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that plate on top of the upside down on top of the glass. Tilt the, holding both the plate and the glass. You're going to flip the glass over. So now the glass is going to be on top of the plate upside down. And then you're going to take the plate, place it on top of the person's head, holding the plate and the cup at the same time. And then with one hand, you're going to tap on the cup 3 times after saying a prayer. This can be an Our Father. This can be, reciting the Psalms. This can be any kind of a prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel, calling on Archangel Metatron as well, to help usher this entity away from this person and sever that connection. And what it's believed to do is that this water and the plate technique is to kind of like exercise in some kind of way, or remove and trap that entity in that water. When it's done, you should throw that water outside of your property. And you can still use the plate and the cup, just, wash it afterwards. But, and that's most extreme kind of measure. But sometimes entities that attach themselves, depending on how long they've courted themselves into the energy of the person that is going through spiritual attachments, through the spiritual attachment, depending on how long they've been there, some people, it may be difficult to kind of pull them away from that person. And again, you may have to take some more drastic measures, like, using holy water on that person, or a blessed oil, and making the sign of a cross on their head, or, whatever you feel you're guided to. There's different ways on doing it. Everybody, again, that is listening to this video, this is just a couple of ways. And again, I am giving you discretion and also caution. This is like a warning for a lot of you out there that would be interested in trying that method, or even trying to help someone detach or get a net spiritual attachment away. If you don't feel like you are capable, or you feel very scared, you may need to consult a local medium, a shaman, a Reiki master, someone that is very experienced in this kind of things, to help that spirit kind of cross over and detach. And for yourself, to protect yourself from spiritual attachments, you need to be, for the most part, eliminate low vibrations, drugs, alcohol, things like that should be eliminated completely, because anything that renders you kind of like in a different altered state, or that renders you a little weaker of the mind, it's so easy for those entities to kind of open portals around you, or you opening up portals without knowing. Because people that are very much like empaths, or with strong psychic abilities or medium abilities, they have portals that open up. Mediums, we have portals. That's how we are able to channel. We are a portal in essence. So, it's just a matter of being very careful. And again, there's going to be a lot of people that may not agree with what I'm saying. It has worked, that method with the water in the glass. I'm sorry, the glass of water in the plate. It has worked before, and I've used it, and I do feel like it's a very strong technique. Some people will do an egg limpia, or an egg cleansing with an egg, like I've mentioned before. That's also effective, and I need to do a video on that, because I haven't done one on the egg cleansing. But I hope you did enjoy this video. Wanted to do something a little bit different, since I know that I didn't get the horoscopes out for this week. I do apologize. It's just been very hectic last week, but going forward, I will be having, this coming week's horoscopes out to you in a timely manner. So again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you did like this video, please smash that like button. For those of you that have not set up a private reading with me, and you're interested in a psychic reading, you can visit my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. I do offer emergency readings if you do need one that is super quick turnaround time. Otherwise, it's like 7 to 21 business days. That's how busy I am. But for the emergency psychic readings, it's a 24 to 72 hour turnaround time. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Psychic Medium Ray. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day wherever you are in the world.